All right. Let's see here. Let's make sure the sound's working. Okay, look, it sounds good. I guess it's good.
Okay, look, it sounds good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got some issues, boys. We got some issues. Something's going on. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. Let's open up Fox for now. My God, I hate how bright Fox is. Why isn't there a dark mode on Fox? Is there a dark mode? Ugh. Come on, do we have settings? Do we have a dark mode here? Like, dude. Like, I know I have a dark mode. I just don't understand why Fox is so bright. Like, I'm already tired. I'm just gonna lower the brightness on my screen for now. I'm just so tired at bright freaking... Alright, come on. That's better. Alright, let's see. I would just like to start out. There is 100% fraud going on in these elections right now. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I've been watching them all closely, and this isn't my first rodeo. There's something going on. Now, we might barely get the majority, but we should have had a stronger majority. Now, this race doesn't matter. We're going to have a Republican anyway. This one being flipped, I get it, but I'm pretty sure that we had the lead at some point and we lost it. Yeah, I know we had the lead in Oregon, so that annoys me. We somehow lost the lead at some point after days and days and days of no reporting. It flips. We still got the lead here. We lost the lead in 21. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, like, we don't have reporting. The election was Tuesday. It's Saturday. We're barely getting any reporting. It's been stalled at 75 and 60%, and then suddenly we have people losing the lead. I don't like it, man. So, we lost the lead in 21. Like, we might either barely get the majority or barely lose the majority now, which doesn't make sense to have such a clean sweep with the Senate and then a clean sweep with the presidency, and then suddenly we're not going to get the majority in the House after days of stalling. I'm not buying it, dude. I'm not fucking buying it. And like the Kari Lake race is one thing. I mean, I think she won that race. I think that there's I think it's personal in Arizona. I think they personally do not want her in that seat because it's personal between that Democrat and the Democratic governor there, and they were not going to allow her to win. But, dude, when you have Trump getting such a resounding victory, the Senate getting such a resounding victory, and the House is suddenly losing seats, I'm just... I mean, if it keeps stalling like this, if we keep allowing it to stall longer, they could very well take these seats, and we might very well lose the House majority, which means we're going to have impeachments every fucking month. I mean, I do not understand. We lost 27, so we were ahead in 27. That's an incumbent. And suddenly we're behind. I mean, this is serious. We're going to lose the majority. And it doesn't make any sense to me how that happened. Okay, so we got Alaska. I don't see, I mean, unless something happens in Alaska too, I don't see us losing Alaska, so that puts us at 214. I'm pretty sure we keep Iowa, I'm hoping. That puts us at 215. We're going to get these 2 seats, I hope, in Arizona. That's 216, 217, and then we got this one, 218. We're going to barely, if all of this tracks the way it should track, we're going to barely keep the majority, but barely. And we might get a couple seats here, maybe, but we've already seen 2 different seats. We're losing an incumbent seat here. I mean, dude, we had considerable leads in these races, and then suddenly after 5 or 6 days after the election of stalling, suddenly we're losing the lead. I don't understand. I've been watching elections for a long time, and it's only been the last few elections this has been the case. I mean, I was just watching somebody talk about India. India just surpassed the world in population. So India has the largest population in the world. They have their elections counted in a day. In a day. There's almost no other country that has the problems that we have with elections right now. I mean, there is serious fraud going on. Serious fraud. And that's not even getting started on the Kari Lake situation. So suddenly she's down even more. I don't know, man. I'm not fucking buying it. I'm not fucking buying it. I'm skeptical. I think I have every right to be skeptical. When you have Republicans across everywhere else getting a resounding victory, and then suddenly these races have gotten tight out of nowhere. Now, the Kari Lake is different. It's been tight this whole time. I mean, actually, she was, like, very far behind and then caught back up. But, so let's just discount that one. I'm not worried about that one. If she loses, she loses. We got the Senate majority, whatever. But these House races, man, they're not adding up. They're not adding up. And then this one's really fucking close. That's crazy. I didn't realize how close that one had gotten. Yeah, these races aren't making any sense to me. And we're barely hanging on. We might not keep Colorado. I didn't even remember that one. I mean, if it keeps tracking the way it's been tracking the last couple of days, we might... They could steal it, dude. I mean, they could very well take these seats. The math isn't adding up. Because I've been watching these elections like a hawk. It's not making any sense. And why in the hell, after the election was on Tuesday, why is this still at 63% reported? What the fuck is going on the West Coast? What the fuck is going on with Arizona? Why are we, as Americans, allowing several states to stall elections? Like, almost every other state in the union has their elections resolved. Yes, there might be some votes still coming in, but we know by now what the results are. Why are we allowing these states to fucking play around with our elections, to play around with Congress? No, we need lawsuits, man. Other states should be suing these states right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What do you have going on here? Why was the election on Tuesday, and why don't you still have your shit resolved? We should know the results. We have every right to question what's going on here. I don't like it. Especially when every day I check back in with the election and then suddenly the Republicans lost the lead. After 5 days after the election. He's leading for 5 days. Suddenly you tune back in on a Saturday. Oh, well, this one's lost the lead. I mean, what are we doing here? Why are we allowing states to stall elections for days? Let's say there's no fraud going on. Let's say that, these Republicans legitimately lost the lead and the Democrats somehow, after days, the votes were tabulated and they somehow got the majority. They're getting like 95% of the votes and the ballot drops that they're dropping now. Let's say that's real. The math doesn't add up, but let's say it's real. Why is it taking you 5 fucking days to do it? And you're the only states in the country that's happening with. And don't give me the population bullshit, because India, they have their elections done in a day. They have the highest population in the world. And they're fucking borderline a third world country. What the fuck are you doing? California. What the fuck? How are you at 63%? Or 61%? How are you at 76%? 81 here. 61 here. I lived in San Diego for 4 years in the Navy. San Diego actually usually has their shit together for the most part in comparison to the rest of the fucking state. How are you at 61% right now? And it's mighty convenient. It's mighty convenient that after a resounding victory across the presidency and across the Senate, suddenly the House race is tight. It's mighty fucking convenient. When the trends, so you're telling me, all right, let me just map this out for a second. I don't know who's seen the map of the red gains. Let's see if I can send that. I have the picture here. I just, for a matter of record, I want to send this to myself. Because let's really get to the bottom of this. Let's really brainstorm this real quick. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm fucking pissed. I'm tired that a few states in this country get to fucking gaslight us and get to fuck with us. I'm just sorry. I'm a little pissed off right now. Because regardless, America won. We've had a really great victory this week. And I want to look at this map because this will really put it into perspective of why I'm pissed off right now and why I have questions. Serious questions. And I'm pretty sure most people have seen this map, but for this conversation, I think it's important to look at it. Let's see. Come on, Gmail, don't fuck me right now. Oh, I thought I got rid of this cough. Come on. All right. We're about to look at this. Come on, pull up, dude. What the hell's going on here? Okay, here's the map. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this map. Look for the blue. Look for the blue. Don't worry about the West Coast right now, because the West Coast obviously does not give a fuck about joining the rest of the country and giving us their election data. So don't worry about the West Coast. Which is obviously where we're having the fucking problems right now. And this map is a very good indication of, you know, the stuff I'm talking about. Look at... So basically what this map is the red gains from 2020, which we won't even get into the fraud in 2020. That's another fucking story. And sorry, I'm cursing. I'm fired up right now. All of those red arrows indicate increases in red votes across counties across the country, and the blues represents increases in blue votes across counties across the country. I mean, this data does not get any more explanatory than this. I mean, this is self-explanatory. Okay? So explain to me how across the entire country, so you're telling me that people walked into the voting booth on the West Coast. Everywhere else, everybody voted red down the ballot. But it's just the West Coast that people walked in, they checked Trump on the ballot, and then they voted Democrat everywhere else. So you're telling me these people reasoned, well, I'm going to vote for Trump because we obviously need him, but we're going to keep Democratic. We're going to vote Democrat everywhere else because they're doing such a great job. I'm going to vote for Trump, but I'm going to vote for the Democrat to stay in the House, or I'm going to vote for a Democrat to flip this seat in the House. So what's the fucking point in voting for Trump? This is where the math and this is where the logic don't add up. There's no point in voting for Trump if you're going to vote to have a Congress of the opposite party, because he's not going to be able to do anything that you're voting him in for. Okay? So you're going to have a hard time convincing me that people in the West Coast or in these states where races are suddenly becoming tight, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that they went in, they're like, oh, I'm voting for Trump, but I'm going to vote for the Democrat in this district. Are you going to have a hard time convincing me in Arizona that they walked in, I'm voting for Trump, but I'm voting for the Democrat to take this Senate seat? What is the fucking point? There's no point in voting for Trump if you're going to vote for Democrats to control Congress. Because Trump's not going to do shit for the country to fix what the Democrats did. If you're voting for, like, what sense does this make? So I'm having a hard time believing that in all these races, everybody voted Trump overwhelmingly across the country, overwhelmingly, and voted to flip the Senate overwhelmingly, and decided, but we're going to make the House blue. Yeah. We're going to vote for Trump, but we're going to vote for the people that's going to impeach him every fucking month to hold the House. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. Unless people are truly that retarded, it doesn't add up. And I know, you know, trends that things flip around. You know, every election things flip around, but this election is quite different. When you look at the numbers aren't adding up that these races suddenly, after 5 days of stalling the elections, that they tightened up to this degree. It does not add up. The numbers aren't there. It don't make any sense. Why has these elections stalled for 5 days? Why, when the Republicans had like a 3 or 4 point lead, suddenly they're behind after 5 days of stalling? You're having a hard time convincing me. And it just so happens in all the races in all the states this is happening in is the ones where they're not requiring voter ID for illegal fucking immigrants to vote. So it just so happens we have record number of illegal immigrants that are entering these specific states and specific races this is happening in, especially in California, where Republicans had a lead in several districts and now 2 districts have been flipped to the Democrat. It just so happens this happens to be the state where illegal immigrants do not need an ID to vote. I mean, can we call a spade a spade? If it quacks like a duck, all that stupid shit. What are we doing? Why are we allowing just a handful of states to dictate what happens in this country? Because if you look at this map, and you look at the map I just showed you of the red gains versus blue gains, the country overall, like freaking 80 to 90% of the country resoundingly chose what they wanted. So why are we allowing a handful of states on the West Coast to dictate what happens when they are obviously fraudulent, when they are obviously rigging elections, when they are obviously breaking the Constitution? Why are we allowing them to stall our elections and decide what happens in our future? We need states to sue these motherfuckers and hold them accountable because they are not a part of this country. They do not act like they're a part of this country. The map is very obvious what the country wants versus what these handful of West Coast fucking psychopaths are doing. We are clearly not on the same page. So why are we allowing them to get away with this? It's been 5-6 days since the election. Why are we allowing this? I mean, the people have spoken. This map is very fucking clear what the people want. So when it comes to this side of the country, I just want to know, why the fuck are we allowing them to do this? That's all I want to know. I mean, I want to vote to excommunicate Arizona and California at this point. I want them out. Like, they are obviously working against our interests. They are obviously working against the interests of the American people. The American people across the country have decided what they want. and California can decide what they want to do. However, they have allowed millions of illegals, and this communist fucking psychopath literally made an unconstitutional law not allowing photo ID to vote. And they are going to decide what happens with our Congress. They are going to decide what happens with the policymakers of the country that will affect my life, that will affect the incoming administration. If we allow them to start flipping all these seats and we don't get the majority, or we get a very slim majority, we might see impeachment after impeachment after impeachment. The American people decided they want Trump. California gets to decide who makes the policy. No. I mean, no. I'm not going to, call for a civil war over this, but this is the kind of things that lead to it. When just a handful of states or one particular region ends up dictating what happens to the rest of the country. When this map is very obvious what the rest of the country wants. That's my problem. That's my grievance here. I'm an American. I get to, address my grievances. This is my grievance. Why is California and Arizona and Washington and Oregon deciding what happens to the rest of the country? Why do they get to hold our elections hostage and what it looks like to me, fraudulently flip the Congress and decide who makes policies in this country? I mean, I think they should be stripped of some of their districts, of some of their representation at this point. Because we don't know what's going on in these elections. We have no oversight. They're not checking for ID. I mean, And they have an overwhelming amount of representation in Congress. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. It's worrying me. Anyways, let's I had to get on rants, I guess. Let's listen to this guy. What does he got to say? Let me put on my headphones here.
Arizona Republican Party filed a lawsuit on Tuesday against Secretary of State Adrian Fontes after discovering from 500,000 to 1.3 million illegal voters on the state's voter rolls.
There you go.
The Gateway Pundit reports the lawsuit highlights outrageous voter registration rates, with some counties exceeding 100% of eligible voters, including deceased individuals and those who have moved away. The lawsuit states this: our findings reveal a staggering number of counties with more registered voters than eligible citizens. This is a clear indication of a system in disarray. We are holding...
No, that's not called disarray. It's called fraud. It's called fraud. There's a word for that. It's not disarray. There is a word for this. I put it in the thumbnail of this live stream for a reason. It's called fraud. So like I said, going back to my rant, why are we allowing a couple of states who are obviously committing fraud to dictate what happens with the policy making in this country? They should be stripped of their representation immediately, if this is the case. Except don't take away their Republican representation. That's funny. I mean, dude. Let's read this. This is blatant fraud in Arizona. Somehow, as they were counting the votes, 15,000 new ballots magically appeared. This was 3 days after the election. I mean, like he just said, we are going on 5 days now after the election. We still don't know the results of several very important elections on the West Coast. No new ballots should be showing up from anywhere. On behalf of Kari Lake for Senate, my client requests the county to provide transparency as to the ballots tabulated and the ballots awaiting tabulation. Further, my client demands a complete accounting as to the discrepancies that have been identified in publicly reported data. Sorry, I ate a burger. Specifically, the estimate of uncounted ballots went up by 14,666 today, November 8th, between the reports listed as uploaded at 1:23 p.m. Alright, Pima County. Ballots already tabulated. Whatever that number is. Boom. 40. Yeah, okay. Percent completed. But even more strange than the number of... I'll let y'all read that. I'm not reading all of those numbers. But even more strange than the number of uncounted ballots increasing, at one point the report reported to be uploaded at 3:23 p.m., Exhibit C, was initially identical to the report uploaded at 1:23. Without changing the timestamp, 2 hours later, the 3:23 report reflected the numbers listed above. Kari Lake for Arizona demands that Pima County provide an immediate explanation to the discrepancies in the numbers, combined with complete and accurate accounting of how the number of uncounted ballots increased between 1:23 p.m. and the 3:23 p.m. report. So we have ballots that are showing up illegally out of nowhere. And here's why this is a problem, because I've been watching the race very closely. And all the ballot dumps in the last couple days, Kari has slowly but surely been closing the gap. Suddenly, after an entire 12 hours of no ballot drops, suddenly the Democrats started getting like 80% of the ballots in the new incoming drops. So we had a consistent about 57. She's getting 57%, 51%, 55%. then boom, suddenly he's getting 80% and she's getting 20% of the votes. And it doesn't make any sense because a lot of these votes were coming from red areas or red areas surrounding it. A lot of these votes should have been about 50-50, or at least it should have been consistent with what she was getting in every drop. So you're telling me she's consistently getting like 57, 51, 55, 54% drops. And then suddenly today, she's getting 80, he's getting 80%, and she's getting 20% of the drop. How does that add up? How did that just happen? Out of nowhere. There's a word for that. It's called fucking fraud. I mean, statistically, it makes no sense. And usually when things don't statistically make sense in this world, that's called fraud. Pretty easy. I mean, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I mean, come on, man. They're still in these fucking elections. All of a sudden, the Republican majority, we were going to have a resounding majority. Now, we might still get the House majority, but it's going to be very slim. About as slim as it was, which, like I said, statistically, and if you count how big the red wave was everywhere else in the presidency and the Senate, it doesn't add up. Because if you would have looked at how the election was tracking the first couple of days, it looked like Republicans were going to get a resounding majority in the House. Suddenly, after 5 days of a stalled election on the West Coast, that majority has slimmed down exponentially almost. That majority is going to be within maybe a seat or two. Maybe. We're going to barely hit 218. And we might get about 219. And if we're lucky, 220. When we were looking at a 224 to 225 House majority the first 2 days of the election. How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. You stall a fucking election for 5 days, you stuff it with ballots, you steal it. That's how that happens. Why in the hell are we going into Sunday? It is Sunday. Right now it's 12:39 Central Time here. It's Sunday. Election was on Tuesday. Why are we still allowing these states to stall the election? Because they're stealing seats. Because the Democrats would love nothing more than to steal the House so that way they can impeach Trump every fucking week if they can. That's what they want. And so far, we're allowing it to happen because these races have tightened. I've heard of no lawsuits. I have heard that they sent lawyers to a couple polling stations, but I haven't heard of any lawsuits. There's no oversight in California where these races are getting tight out of nowhere. I don't know, man. It doesn't add up. We have a lot of anomalies here. I know I'm not wrong. I've been here before. I'm having a bad case of deja vu. The only good thing is, going back to the consistency thing, we had resounding victories in the presidency and the Senate across the country. And suddenly the West Coast is... Here's where it don't add up. So you're telling me everywhere else across the country, except for a handful of states on the West Coast, have resoundingly decided we want a Republican majority in the House. And then suddenly, when we did have a lot of people deciding we want a Republican majority on the West Coast too, after 5 days of a stalled election, suddenly these votes are coming in saying, no, we don't want a Republican majority in the House. We're going to vote for Trump, though, but we're also going to vote to flip the House so that way Trump cannot get anything done. What sense does that make? It's like I said, you're telling me that people in Arizona and California people in Arizona walked in and said, I'm voting for Trump because we need something to change. The country's falling apart. They get a resounding victory for Trump. But I'm going to vote for the Democrats to take the House so that way they can impeach him every month and he can't get any policies through. That's what you're telling me. I'm telling you right now, those House races are not this close. They're not this close. The election was on Tuesday. Almost every other state across the country has gotten the results of the election. We know what's going on. A handful of states on the West Coast are holding it up and holding us hostage. And I've been ranting about this for like 36 minutes now, but I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off that we're allowing this. I'm pissed off that we don't have hundreds of lawyers marching into these states and like, what the fuck are you doing? I want immediate lawsuits. Something's got to give here. We can't keep allowing this. I think I'm seeing some lag on my... Let me see here. No, I think we're good. Yeah, we should be good. I saw some frames drop, but anyways. I don't know, man. I just got back from the gym, so I'm like fired up. I did like a 1.5 mile run, some squats, and some other stuff. So I'm fired up. I was driving home. I had just looked at some of the results of the race, and I'm like, no. I'm turning on my computer, and I'm ranting. Because that's what people do. So I'm fired up. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because we just had an amazing victory, and now they're trying to steal part of it. Because like I said, the first 2 days of the election, even everybody was saying it. It's like, oh, we got the House too. We got a large majority in the House. And suddenly we're barely going to have the majority, if at all. If we get the majority, it's going to be like 1 or 2 seats. What? When the election data, this is why it's inconsistent. This is why statistically it don't add up. The election data coming out of the election was we were going to have a 5 or 6 seat majority in the House. Now we're barely going to have a seat majority. And we might lose that if they keep stealing elections. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I think I'm beating a dead horse now. Anyways. Wait, what? Brandon Herrera considered for ATF director post. Yes, I would support this. I like that too. Okay, yeah, I did retweet that earlier. You can't dismantle it without having somebody there to advocate for it. I'm down. Dude, could you imagine the aneurysm that agency will have if Trump appoints Brandon Herrera as the director of the ATF? Just think about this for a minute. He does that. Think about how crazy these people will act. They're like, oh my God. God, that would be amazing. Please do it, Trump. Make the AK guy the director of the ATF. Bruh. And you know how pissed off the people that put tens of millions of dollars to beat him in an election that they barely beat him, like 700 votes in, and he becomes the director of the fucking ATF, dude. When his whole platform in that election was running on like advocating for the Second Amendment against a piece of shit communist fake rhino fuck Republican, and then he gets to basically go in and clean house at the ATF. My God. That's better than putting Alex Jones as press secretary. I'm sorry, that's... the sound of that. That's a good sound. That's a good sound. I like that. Dude, there is so much room to do incredible things in this administration. He has so much opportunity to just make this the most badass cabinet and executive branch in history. Of just, I mean, straight meme level administration. Like, dude, that's a meme. Making Brandon Herrera the director of the fucking ATF. You know how crazy all of the gun pages on Facebook are gonna go? The memes would be incredible. God, please do that. Trump, please. Make Alex Jones press secretary, Brandon Herrera director of the fucking ATF. What else can we do? Fuck it, make RFK the director of CIA. I don't give a shit. That would be hilarious too. I mean, we got so much potential to meme this government right now. If anybody comes in and can think of any, if you want to leave a comment, think of any other meme-worthy, hilarious appointments Trump could make in his government, please do. I'm trying to think of some right now. Michael Malice, so we can put him somewhere. I don't know where we would have put Michael Malice, but I guess you can make him press secretary. Have Alex Jones and Michael Malice tag team the press sec. Like, be the first to appoint two people, and they can both just come in and out. Alex Jones can come in and be like crazy motherfucker. Michael Malice tags in and basically just trolls them. There's so much potential here. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Alright, let's go explore some trending topics. What do we got here? Brian Kelly's trending at number 1. Yeah, because he's the shit-ass coach. Obviously, I'm an LSU fan, and we just got our ass kicked by Bama tonight. I'm still sad about that. That's why I went to the gym really late and worked it out of me. Okay, let's see. Kari Lake's trending. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it. Trailing by 1%, the ballot drops favor her. And no, it doesn't favor her anymore. One of the latest ballot drops did not favor her at all. They were, and that's where the inconsistency is. All of the ballot drops were favoring Kari Lake, and then suddenly the latest one didn't. You're just going to have a hard time convincing me that one of Trump's biggest supporters isn't winning this election, but Trump won Arizona resoundingly. You're just going to have a hard time convincing me. I think when it comes to Arizona and Kari Lake, it's personal. I think there's a personal vendetta with the governor and these Democrats, and they are not allowing her to win. And they knew they couldn't cheat against Trump, but they knew they could cheat against her. And I think that's where we're at. I'll be right back, though. Alright, I'm back. If anybody does come in, I would appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed. Apparently, I have to say that. Which I got a few subscribers today. That was pretty cool. I actually had a video that did really well today. Or relatively. Alright. When am I getting notification? Oh yeah, I was talking shit about LSU. It's my team, man, but I'm pissed off. Alright. Let's see. Oh, well, I thought I had. Oh, yeah, in my pocket. Put in a mango nicotine patch. Or nicotine pouch, whatever. Alright. Who do you prefer as Senate Majority Leader? Why would J.D. Vance the Vice President? Why in the fuck would you put him on? I mean, I'm going to put J.D. Vance, but Rick Scott, obviously. I mean, I think he's a dumbass too, but I don't want John Cornyn there. Wait, isn't Rand Paul in the Senate? Why wouldn't Rand Paul be on that list? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck are we doing? That is interesting that you could make J.D. Vance the Senate Majority Leader until he's inaugurated. That's interesting. I never thought of that. Alright, do we have anything good trending? Come on, man. Election. No, what the fuck? Dude, Lily Tang is fucking awesome. Has anybody watched Lily Tang debate moments? Hold up, that's what we're doing. Lily Tang is a G, dude. Listen to this woman. She is a mother effing boss.
And hope for the best. Hope that the results will trickle down to hardworking people. I take a very different approach. I believe that the middle class deserves a tax cut, and I believe
Look at her face.
We will do a lot for this country.
Dude, Lily
by
Tang is
ensuring
a
that we
G.
don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
Mr. Williams.
You are wealthy. You're worth $20 million to $30 million. How do you know about regular people suffering? Do you go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food? I talk to those people. And you pretend to be
Get her.
in Nashua a few months ago, moved back to run for this open seat with millions of dollars from Washington, D.C. insiders. And the millions of dollars. I don't have money to run a TV ad. And you pretend you are poor, complain rent is so high. You couldn't save that apartment for other people to rent.
Dude, she's so badass.
To your $2 million home in Portsmouth. Please don't say that, because you do not understand regular people's concern. People cry in my arms on this issue.
Go back to your $2 million home in Portsmouth. Dude, Lily Tang Williams is a fucking G. God bless that woman. I'm sad she lost, but she only lost by 5 points. And she had no big donors. None. God, she was badass. And she's like sitting here freaking shit posting CCP.
Freedom.
每个公司和每个人必须服从中国共产党。
A life without freedom. That's the China I survived. I'm Lily Tang Williams. I can hear the right way. But Biden and Harris led in 9 million illegals, including 50,000 unvetted Chinese nationals. I'm Lily Tang Williams. I approve this message because Trump is right. Secure the border and stop the CCP.
Dude, Lily Tang is freaking awesome. Such a badass. What other, I know we got some more Lily Tang moments. Hold on. Oh yeah, she was on Timcast. I forgot about that. I remember now. Come on, give me some debate moments. What are we doing? I want that debate. That's the one we just watched. Come on, dude.
That the results will trickle down to hardworking people. I take a very different
$30 million.
disastrous tax policy.
Alright, I know we got more. That's the only one they're gonna share?
All the way up to the North Country, I see Ukrainian flags everywhere I go. The people of New Hampshire understand that this is a fight for freedom and it's a fight for democracy. This is an unjust war that Vladimir Putin waged against a sovereign nation. My opponent believes that the path to peace is through Vladimir Putin. I know from my own professional experience that that is just so dead wrong. You know, early in my career, if I could finish, please. Early in my career, I worked for Senator John McCain to take on Vladimir Putin. I'm banned from Russia for life because of that work. And I believe deeply in the cause of freedom in Ukraine.
Ms. Tom Williams, 30 seconds.
You math cannot add up, okay? And I'm very good with math. Maybe that's stereotype for aging Americans.
I'm very good with math. Dude, Lily Tang is the best.
If you want to pay all the stuff you want to pay, then do your math. How are we going to pay for it? Show me the path. Borrow money from China or print money to drive up inflation. And you say Ukrainian flag everywhere in Nashville. I have not seen that many. As I said, if Democrats want to do this, billionaires want to do this, neocons want to do this, please do. Donate your own money. So many people have died. It's time to bring peace and talk to the table. President Trump is talking about he will be for peace, deals, as
Hell
soon
yeah.
as he gets elected. We cannot afford to engage in endless wars. And your husband, Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor, is posting word on fire because he's incompetent. He should get fired.
Dude, she is just fucking savage. I love her. I love her. I wish she would have got elected. My God, could you imagine this woman in Congress?
Back to economics 101 schools to learn who caused high inflation. It's not the private sector. It's always the federal government who can print money.
We don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
Ms. Tom Williams.
You are wealthy. You're worth $20 million to $30 million. How do you know about regular people suffering? You go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food. I talk to those people, and you pretend to be talking about he will be for peace, deals, as soon as he gets on fire because he's incompetent. He should get fired.
Ms. Goodland.
And so I
God,
promise
dude, she's
you,
ass.
Adam, and to all of your viewers out there, that this is the spirit I will bring to this work.
Ms. Tom Williams, how do you alleviate some of that fear and anger that's out there in this country?
Well, when your former boss 6 months ago come out to call all Trump supporters are garbage, and that's like half the country become garbage, that's not unifying and positive. And it's been going on for a while. Your boss is the most divisive president since I come to this country. Talk about white supremacy. I mean, you are white, lots of people are white, and talk about MAGA Republicans are threats to democracy. You know, all those rhetorics do not help. I like to talk about American dream, how happy I'm here, how much I love this country. I want to serve the people.
This is why we love you.
We've hit time for closing statement.
She comes to this country and then talks about how much she loves this country and how great this country is. Complete polar opposite of these communist, Democrat, dipshit bastards. God, I love Lily Tong. I think that's how you say it, Lily Tong instead of Tang. What a badass. As soon as I hit the hour mark, I'm gonna hop off here because I've been up since 5 a.m. I went to work. I went to the gym. But I said, I'm gonna dedicate myself to making more videos and doing more live streams. So here I am, ranting about the elections and watching videos of Lily Tong. I promised I would do it. And I did it. So. Wow. Wow. I didn't even know that. He's almost got just as many votes as the presidential election in a Senate race. That never happens. There's some fishiness going on, man. There's just something not up with that election. And it's not just that one. They do. Here's the thing, Thomas Brantley. It's not that they think we're that stupid. It's that they don't give a fuck. They don't care that we see what they're doing. Because they don't think that we're going to do anything. But the reality is, us voting in Trump just proved that we are going to do something. And we put Trump in office to do something. So, I'm praying to God that we can actually start taking the fight to them. And put them on notice. Because they didn't win the Senate majority. So we have the Senate. We just have to pray to God that they don't steal the House from us. But they're getting close to it. But we'll see. But they don't think we're stupid. They know we're not stupid. They think we're weak and that we won't stop them. That we won't do something about it. Because they tested our response to COVID. Our response to COVID signaled to the government that we were not going to do anything to stop their tyranny. Well, us electing Trump sent a very clear message that we're watching you. That you're not just going to get away with fucking us over and not pay for it. So remember that. We elected Trump for a reason. Trump is retribution. Trump is accountability. Regardless of if the administration works out or not, I hope it does, but even if it doesn't, the message we sent is clear. Reality is, we got a lot of work to do. It's not over yet. We want a battle this Tuesday. We want a battle. The battle's not over. We got, the war's not over. We got many more battles to come. But I have hit the hour mark. I got my live stream in. I am so tired. I worked 7 hours. I went to the gym. I'm tired. It's late. I'm getting off here. I ranted about the election. If anybody does watch this video back later, please leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I am trying to grow this channel. I've told myself I'm gonna dedicate time to this channel. We're gonna grow it, dude. And it has been this past week. It has been growing actually. So I'm putting more time into it. I'm gonna grow this thing. There's a part of me that knows I can grow this, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put more time into it, and I'm doing it. My last live stream has got like almost 1,000 views now. I'm gonna get this one to 1,000 views, and we're just gonna keep doing that. So when you leave a like and subscribe, it does put it in the algorithm. I would appreciate that. I don't really. Yeah, I'm pissed off. The elections are fucked right now, but thank God we elected Trump. MAGA, let's go. Great week. A great way to end the week. I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching. Peace.